My name is David Paul, and today we're going to make up our own music. Some people think that you have to play your instrument for a really long time before you ever try to make up your own. But I've discovered a way to do that much easier and much sooner than anybody else I've run across, and I hope you find it valuable. There is a page in the music lessons, the one at the back, that is devoted just to people who want to make up their own music. All right? In order for this to make sense, it is important for you to go to the first video that talks about the scale. It has the echo and it has the jam on it. Those three things are the foundation for making up your own music. So real simply, from this page, you'll see the top two lines. They discuss melody. Melody is like what a singer would usually do if they play in a band. It's the tune, right? It's generally the most dominant thing that you hear, okay? Now, what makes that make sense and interesting is the harmony underneath it. So harmony is basically when you have two notes happening at the same time, that's harmony. And they fit together in threes very nicely to form chords. So that's what they call a C chord. And guitarists know all about that. C, E, G, all together, that's your C chord. And then the notes G, B, D together, they form the G chord. And you kind of go back and forth. And it creates this framework from which the melody sounds really good, right? What's kind of cool is that in Western music, particularly in America and in Europe, the rhythm makes the tune, you know? And so one really important reason to do the echo and to do the jam is that you get familiar with very common rhythms. And when you make up your song, you usually choose 1 to 3 real strong rhythms that come back over and over. So if I were to just make up a song for you here. Okay. So as we go on, I'm going to show you all about that. So you'll be able to do what I did, and you'll understand everything that's going on. Essentially, what I'd like to do from the beginning, especially if you've never done it before, is I create what they call a backing track. And that's really the rhythm and the harmony that gives you the chords, but they stay out of your way. So one of the things that you can use this video for is to start creating melodies of your own. And I'd suggest that you start with the right hand in C position, right? I talk about that on the videos with the scale and the echo and the jam. All of that from lesson 1 is right here, right? So you're going to make up melodies from right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a steady rhythm underneath it, right? And so there's a lot of moving parts here, but the beginning stage of learning to play your own music is to be able to improvise a melody. You make up a melody. Now, a lot of people say, oh my goodness, I've never done that before. It's really okay. Go to that first practice video, and when you get to the jam, they'll show you different rhythms. They'll show you how to put it together, and then what you do is you do it by little bits. The main difference here is that you're going to organize it according to measures and chords. So what happens at the bottom on this page, it shows you a chord chart. And how that's organized is the little letters are the guitar chord, right? The C chord, the C chord, the G chord, G chord. How do you know how long they last? Well, each measure is 4 beats long, and you'll hear the chord changes. It goes back and forth, okay? So what I'm going to do is, so you can practice at home to make up your own melodies, I'm going to play this chord chart 2 times through, right? And then you can put it on repeat if you want, and you can make up melodies in the right hand. After you do it in C position for a while, you can branch out. You can literally do anything you want. But this will give you a starting point. And to be real straight with you, the lion's share of what you need to learn in order to make up your own music is contained in that first video, the scale, the echo, and the jam. And we'll talk about that more in the next lesson. So before we wrap up today, let me put down an accompaniment for you. And I'll just take a moment to share with you the rhythm over here. You can use this rhythm if you want. The way that rhythm goes, okay, quick, quick, slow, slow, slow. And then you learn from the jam that you can do different notes with that same rhythm. Right? And sometimes if you do the same thing over and over and over again, you know, it's like you're stuck in a box. So very often people will like repeat it, and then the third time they change it up, and you'll learn all of those things as you go. I encourage you just to play, and over time you'll figure out what you like. You'll figure out what notes are fitting with the chord and which ones sound a little off. And rather than explain all that stuff and fill your head with all these ideas, I want you to experiment. Okay, when I play this note with that chord, it sounds good. When I play this note with that chord, not so good. And you learn all those things instinctively, then you strengthen your ear. And when you go to add the left hand to what you're doing, you'll understand it better. And we're going to talk about all those things in a future lesson. Today, we're going to get you going on being able to play your own melodies and to understand that 8-measure chord chart and how to use it. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. All right, so let me get going for you. I guess I better let you see it. You're not going to be playing it, right? You're going to have your hand here. You're going to get to play here, right? And if you want to hear it better, you can put it up high where you hear it better. I'm going to play here. If I get it too low, it's going to sound a little odd, and you won't be able to hear it. So anyway, I'm going to lay down the accompaniment track, and you're going to make up melodies against it, okay? And I'll go through that 8-measure chord chart 2 times. 1, 2, ready, play. Back to the top. There you go. There you go. I hope you find it helpful. Send me some notes. I'd love to hear what you've discovered playing with it. If you'd like more help, I do a live class once a week, and you can come, you can play your songs, whether you're playing by written music, by ear, or if you're making up your own songs. When you perform a song for somebody else, you really get to know it well. So it's a cool thing to do. If you don't come to the class, that's fine. If you just take your music and play it for a friend of yours, it's a great way of advancing. You get a little nervous, and then you make it through, and it helps grow your musicianship to play for someone else because you get to share the things that you're doing. So thank you for joining me. I'll look forward to catching up with you during lesson 2.